Hello people, and I hope all of you are doing well. And yes, we're back. We're back to discuss the things that we haven't discussed in the last video. So, if you guys remember, we had the folder on our desktop and it's still there. Right where we left it. Exactly the same spot. So, as I said, I will cover the positives and the combos in this one, while I cover the negatives in the last one. While the negatives had a lot to talk about, this one won't be as long, from what I think anyway. But let's just see, let's open our little folder here. And if you guys do remember, we had 3 folders inside of it, which were negatives, combos, and positives, which I already talked about. And today we're gonna cover the combos and the positives, since we already did the negatives. But you should keep in mind that the combos also count towards the positives. So they're just all positives in a way, but I still want to separate them. So let's start, shall we? And I'm gonna keep having the same format as the last one, by the way, because I feel like it was pretty convenient to do things like that. Like, it's pretty easy to show things and it's more accurate as well, in my opinion anyway. So let's start with the combos and then end with the positives. Oh, there are quite a few combos that I found, to be honest. So this will count, the combos count towards something like after a wall bounce or after a wall splat, or just usability in combos in general. That's what this folder entails, so to speak. Also the counter hit property combos as well. So this will have all of that. And of course I will show you everything and explain things. I'll also recommend doing some stuff and not recommend doing some other stuff, so let's see. Let's just, you know, make ourselves comfortable just like last time. So the first one will be the combo that's the least usable, so that's why I want to show this first, the wall bounce combo. The wall bounce forward 1+2 isn't that usable in general, so let's just see. What does that? Okay. So about this combo, I want to add that after the wall bounce, it's not that easy to do the while standing 1+2, and it's not that consistent. So I wouldn't really recommend it, but it is possible, and it's the highest damage possible as well. So I don't know, take it with a grain of salt. You can just use the normal 2-2 into the wall combo. I think that might be better. Let's check the next one. This is a pretty easy combo to do. After electric. 70 damage. This is, I do recommend using this one if you can't do multiple electrics. This is like the next best thing if you can't do them. But you still have to crouch and do the while standing 1+2, so I'm not too certain, but it's not hard to execute, so I would go with the recommended. Now this, while standing 2, is a hard recommend. This should be a staple if you ask me. So, as you saw in the video, in that clip, while standing 2 into while standing 1+2 works, but you have to follow up with a back 2-1 for it to screw, because you only have 14 frames to work with. In every situation, if you follow up with a new move in a combo, you have to also follow up with a new screw, back to 1, or else it won't work. But this is a staple for me. It's a really stable combo, and I definitely would recommend it. Now let's go with something I wouldn't entirely recommend, but it's still possible. The Magic 4 combo. I have 3 variations of this. Now you might understand why. But as you saw there, the last hit whiffs because of the axis change that the Magic 4 gives on counter hit. So there are 2 options you can have to accommodate for this, which I clipped in these 2 videos. Right here. So if you saw there, I did a mini sidestep. I'll replay it one more time. A mini sidestep left into the new move, and then do the optimal combo for it. Which works, and the combo just works normally. But the thing is, that little sidestep left isn't that easy to do. But now there's also a second option. Let's see. Okay, so now I sidestep after the screw. So it's exactly the same as the last one, that sidestep into the combo isn't that easy to do. So I wouldn't recommend it entirely, but you still have to keep in mind that it is possible, and it gives decent damage. Let's move on. Down forward 2. This is actually a really good one. I would really like this combo if it was consistent. The thing is, you have to duck and do the new move very fast for it to work, or else the new move will just whiff. So it's hard to do, and I will give this a not recommended. Definitely not recommended. I'd rather you do a 3-1-4 into the combo than do this, because this just definitely not good to do. That's good. Now let's go to one of the most optimal combos. Down 1+2. This is one of the most easiest ones to understand, because after down 1+2 is counter hit, you are crouching. So this is basically a staple after it. If you don't do this, I don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe double electrics. But this is just really easy to do. It's better than one electric. It does 1 more damage if I remember correctly. So there's no reason not to do this basically. Now, outside of the combos it can give, let's see the counter hit properties of it. So the most obvious one, let's get this out of the way. Of course this is the most obvious one. Everyone knows about this most likely. You get a guaranteed forward 4 after that counter hits. But I don't know, a lot of people know about the next one. Let's see. Oh. So if you didn't know this, after a counter hit on the wall standing 1+2, you can do a mini dash into a hell sweep, which is a full combo as you saw in that clip right there. So if you didn't know, here you are, you can use it now. And depends on the axis that it hits, it will make it easier or harder, so you still have to be cautious about it. The next one will be about the setup, but I want to save the setups for last. Let's do the guaranteed stuff for now. Now about the hell sweep, there is a rare combo that can happen at the wall. So if you see this clip, right? So this is a very rare occasion because you need to have a specific angle and a very specific positioning as well for that to work. So it's very rare, but it is possible. So if you are aware enough and make it work, kudos to you then. Also the biggest thing about the counter hit property when you're near walls is this. So if the wall is to your left side and you counter hit the new move, you can easily pick them up with a down forward 3, for example, as it was shown in the clip. But that's not the only thing you can pick up with. There are 3 possible pickup options, which is why I have 3 clips about them. So let's see. You can also do down back 4. And keep in mind, all of these pickup options do quite decent damage. But these 2 are not that consistent. They're semi-consistent and not that bad, but the most consistent one is the third option, if you ask me. Which is this one. Right? Just a very simple down forward 1-4. It will instantly screw them. It will sacrifice some damage. But you sacrifice a little bit of damage for much more consistency. So I think it is worth it, if you ask me. But let's go to the next one. See what it does. So for those of you who might be a little bit confused, I can understand why. This shows that after a wall combo, this is the highest damaging resplat option right now. Because I want you to look at this. So I resplatted with a new move right there. Originally the highest damaging resplat option was an electric instead of that move. And then doing the same combo as I did here. Which is waiting for the opponent to slide down for my down forward 1 to hit their head basically. So that the combo will work. And you did the same with electrics, but the wall standing 1+2 now does 1 more damage. So it's the highest damaging resplat option, which is something to be... I don't know, I just wanted to mention it. Now, as I said, I saved the setups for last, which the counter hit options, well, the counter hit property, does give you. So what you saw there was a back roll catch. When you do a counter hit on that move, when it actually works, you can go wave dash, or you can even do a normal dash and electric in the right positioning, with the right timing, and the electric will be absolutely guaranteed. They won't be able to avoid it unless they duck. But if they duck, you also have the option to do forward 4-3 or while standing 2 cancel if you're good enough. So it's still a setup. It's pretty good. Now let's see another one, the second one. As I said, wall standing 2 also works after the counter hit. So even if they duck or even if they don't duck, this will work. If you time it correctly, it will catch them back rolling. And this will be fully guaranteed, so that's 72 damage guaranteed if you do it correctly. Of course this is hard to do, electric is much easier, but you can also do forward 4-3, which will kinda give you the same damage. But it needs a specific timing, of course. But now I have to go to the best setup that I have found for this move. Yes. Oh yes. And I know what you guys are thinking. There's no way that's guaranteed, right? That's absolutely guaranteed. It's exactly the same back roll catch I showed you with an electric or a wall standing 2. That's 100% guaranteed if they get up. That's insane if you ask me. That's really fun to do in a real match. I wouldn't recommend it. I would more recommend to do a rage drive because that also catches them. But this is just too funny, you know, you just have to do it. So I want to end the combo section with this, of course, because this is the best setup. But now I will briefly say and talk about the positives, of course. Let's change folders. This doesn't have this much clips because there are a lot of simple stuff that you can easily explain. So the first clip is about it being a mix-up on hit. So you can do a hell sweep or a down back too if they are trying to sidestep. But recall my previous video, I showcased that 4-4-3 does not work on hit. If they try to sidestep it, they will. So I do not recommend using 4-4-3, at least if you notice them sidestepping after the move. If they're not, you can use it, but just keep in mind that they can't sidestep it. Next clip. So it tracks well left. It's plus 14 as you see in the frame advantage. And it's fast. Its startup frame is 13. I want to add a little bit to this. What is important about this move is that it's fast. That's one of the most important things. It being 13 frames is really important, because that's very fast startup frame, just to be short. It tracks well left, but of course in the negative section when I covered this, you saw that it doesn't always track. It's not tracking, so you gotta be careful about that, especially near the walls. But it's definitely a very good move, but it has its own negatives, as I covered it already. And yes, the wall splat of the move. It wall splats, but yeah, I need you guys to remember that you need to be close to the wall for it to actually wall splat. But the property of it is actually not that bad. When you wall splat, you do have an opportunity to re-wall splat them, so you increase the damage with it. If you compare the re-wall splat with a normal wall combo, the damage increase is pretty significant. It's not that bad. I think 4 or 5 damage, something like that. And that's a lot. That's not something to be it's not something to just ignore, basically. But yeah, so we're here, and we're gonna end this discussion with this as well. So yeah, I said all the combo opportunities that I found, all the positives that I think that this move has. I think it's a good move. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's trash. I do not. But as I said in the previous one, it's overhyped. So as a little overview, since I already covered the positives and the negatives, I wanna just tell you guys what I think about the move in general. I think it's a good move, as I already said, but it's situational. That's how I would describe it. Situational. You can't just throw it out thinking that it would work every time. You won't be able to just wave dash mix up your opponent to almost every match. Most likely in a match, it's pretty rare. If they let you do it, you already conditioned them. But as I said, it's situational. So, if you guys liked the video, don't forget to actually like it. And thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys take care. Leave some suggestions. Maybe I'll do some of your suggestions next time. See you guys later.